Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a great edition of the Produce Moms Podcast. We have a woman on the show today, Kim Andreason. She is a true superstar. You guys are just going to absolutely love her story. She coordinates all the produce for Jason's Deli. So I know I'm not alone when I say, you know, Jason's Deli is a great place to have a family meal. It's a great place to get a healthy meal. And once you meet Kim, you're going to want to eat more Jason's Deli. She is a superstar. She's passionate about the produce industry. And like everyone that we profile here on the Produce Moms Podcast, you know, Kim really is doing work that matters the most. She's really working hard day in and day out to make sure that families everywhere can increase their consumption of fruits and vegetables. And, you know, she's not only dedicated to that during her, you know, time at Jason's Deli, but it's, you know, Kim is another one of those female leaders within agriculture and within the produce industry that's heavily involved with advancing the industry, female empowerment within the industry. She's one of, you know, extremely involved with an organization called Southeast Produce Council, and just can't wait to dive in to this episode with Kim. So without further ado, Kim, welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. No, Kim and I first met, let's see, Kim, it was this past summer, right? Summer 2018 at the Produce Marketing Association's food service conference.
Yes.
And yeah, we were introduced by some of our mutual friends at HMC Farms. So thank you to everyone at HMC Farms for introducing us. Kim and I really hit it off, really, truly the minute we met. I just knew that Kim was, you know, the same type of spirit and go-getter that I am. And she's certainly part of that, you know, that passion that moves the produce industry forward day in and day out. So it's great to have you on today, Kim.
Thanks, Lori. And I feel the same about you. The night that we met, I was like, wow, she's really passionate. I love this.
Yeah, we could have talked for hours. Well, we won't talk for hours today. We're going to try to keep this to our standard, you know, 20 to 30 minute podcast. But so let's go ahead and dive in. That being said, so tell all of our listeners a little bit more about Jason's Deli. You know, like specifically, how many restaurants do y'all have, and what are your values when it comes to the food you serve at Jason's Deli?
Okay. Right now we're at 275 delis. We're in 28 states, and we're continuing to open about 12 to 15 delis every year. So we're expanding. We're not in all 50 states yet, but eventually I'm guessing we'll be there. The values, our founder, Joe Torres, is still very involved with the business, a family man, and he's really a great inspiration to everyone that works here at Jason's. One of his sayings is, if he wouldn't serve it to my family, he won't serve it to his customers.
I love that.
Yes. So that's something we all have to take into consideration here. When we're working with the different growers and picking out different produce items, you have to stop and think first, would you take it home to your family? And secondly, would Joe approve?
Right. And so the founder is still today involved.
Yes, yeah. He is.
That's great. So, you know, and it's spending time on your website, and then also during our wonderful dinner that we shared in California when we first met. I didn't know this. Despite dining at Jason's Deli and having one here in my hometown of Indianapolis, I did not realize this, but Jason's Deli was one of the first restaurants to eliminate trans fat and high fructose corn syrup from your menu.
Yes, that happened back in 2005.
Wow. Yeah. So certainly can probably come right back to that founder's value and mission of, hey, if I'm not going to serve it to my family, I'm not going to serve it to my customers. So really that also reminds me of another Jason's Deli tagline, which is, it's a family thing.
Yes, and that is a little bit of where that comes from. We're hoping that when anyone comes into a Jason's Deli that, it feels like family, and know that people in your family are making those decisions on what food to bring in.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly a very family-friendly place to eat. So let's talk a little bit more about the founder. I'm a founder myself, entrepreneur. I love a good founder story. So, on your website, it shows that the founder of Jason's Deli actually has a heritage and some roots in the food industry. He grew up with a grocery store in the family. So tell us a little bit more about the founder of Jason's Deli and how, just his upbringing in the food industry has impacted the way you all serve fresh produce at Jason's Deli.
Okay, yes. Joe grew up in a small town or in Beaumont, Texas, just south of Houston. And his father had a grocery store there, which he worked in. And one of the stories that he likes to tell is during that time, there was a lot of construction going on. And workers would come in and get a loaf of bread and all the ingredients that they would need to make a sandwich for lunch. And that's where his idea started. He started pre-making sandwiches, and I guess it was 1974, Jason's Deli started.
Wow. That's great. And now here today, you're approaching 300 restaurants throughout the United States, growing, you said 10 to 15 delis every year?
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes. When I started at Jason's, that was a little over 12 years ago, we had 150.
Whoa. And what's the exact number today?
We're at 275 right now.
Yeah. Wow. That's exciting to be part of that scale up cycle of the business. That's so fun for you, and it's got to invigorate, everyone who works at Jason's Deli. So let's talk a little bit more about what you do, Kim. So you are the produce buyer for Jason's Deli, and essentially you're coordinating all of the produce for Jason's Deli restaurants throughout the United States.
Yes. Right now I work with 33 different produce distributors and probably 30 plus different growers on the farm side. So my job is to source the product. First of all, it all has to be taken through our research and development team to make sure it meets the quality standards, and then go out and negotiate pricing and make sure all of those 33 different distributors know that we want Driscoll strawberries in our deli, or we want Del Monte pineapple, or Wada Farms potatoes, or whatever product our team decides to put on the menu.
Sure. Yeah, so that's all under your jurisdiction.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. Really important job. So let's put this into perspective for folks. How many pounds of produce per year is served at Jason's Deli? Do you know that number?
Yes. In 2018, we were a little over 34 million pounds.
Whoa, that's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna 34 million pounds.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. So that's got to feel really good though, Kim, to be part of that type of push of the world's most wholesome foods.
It is. I've got a passion in this industry. I've been in it for a long time. And I just like being a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it probably goes without saying that, families can get a healthy meal at Jason's Deli. If you're offering that amount of produce on an annual basis, that means every single day there's an abundant offering of fresh fruits and vegetables at your restaurants.
Yes. Yes. We've got a pretty large salad bar with many different fresh produce items on it. And back in 2006, I believe, we started offering organics.
Oh, okay.
So, on our salad bar, we've got organic spring mix and spinach, carrots, apples. And part of my job right now is looking to expand those organic options that we have on the salad bar.
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. And I will say the passion for fresh produce at Jason's Deli, it transcends. It's not just Kim. I actually had the opportunity at our dinner, Kim. There were other people around that table that have, different roles and disciplines as it relates to the Jason's Deli business operation. And everyone was just as passionate as you were about the fresh produce. While they might not be so involved in the day-to-day of fresh produce, that certainly, is your wheelhouse as the coordinator of the whole operation as it relates to produce. But truly, you could tell it was a passion point for every single person at Jason's Deli.
Yes, it is. I believe that all of us that are here working together just have a passion for food in general. And servant leadership is a big focus that, comes directly from our founder. And we all believe in it, and we have meetings on it, and just everyone here is a pleasure to work with and are just as passionate as I am about the food industry in general.
Yeah, well, you can tell that when you dine in at a Jason's Deli, and I certainly was able to identify that rather quickly the night we all shared that wonderful dinner together. Mm-hmm. So let's what is the one thing, we've got a lot of different listeners today, most of which are, the vast majority of our followers at the Produce Moms are moms that are, just looking for ways to inspire their family to eat more fruits and vegetables. So with that in mind, what's the one thing you want our listeners to know about dining out at Jason's Deli?
With coming in to Jason's, I think probably the thing that I would want to state most is that we know where our food comes from, and it's very important to us, just like it is to what you're feeding your children. And hopefully when you dine at a Jason's Deli, you'll feel that and you'll feel like family. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, hey, right? It's a family thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this has been an incredible conversation. I really enjoyed learning a little bit more about not only you, Kim, but certainly the story behind Jason's Deli. It's a restaurant that so many of us patronize. We use it for catering, or we stop in with our kids. Love the salad bar. But it's really nice to kind of learn more about the founder and peel away at what some of the corporate values are, because certainly, I'm sure many of the listeners agree with me. I have even more confidence and interest in dining out now at Jason's Deli than I did before this conversation. So thank you for sharing so much information with us today. In true Produce Moms podcast fashion, we always pass the mic back to our guests for an opportunity to, have the last words and say goodbye to our audience. So with that being said, Kim, thank you for being our guest today, and I'll throw it back to you for our final goodbye.
Okay, thank you, Lori. I'm really glad that I had the pleasure of meeting you in California and we were able to do this podcast. If you want to learn more about Jason's, you can go to our website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or if you have specific questions you'd like to ask me, please reach out on LinkedIn at Kimberly Andreason. Thank you.
Great. Okay. And you know what? We'll make it easy for you all. We'll put links to that right into the show notes. So Kim, thanks for being on our show today. Produce Moms everywhere, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Lori.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.